What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about Galactic Conquest, and we're going to be taking a look at some sort of concept arts for Galactic Conquest in DICE's Star Wars Battlefront 2 2017, which are made by Cinematic Captures, and I'm not going to lie, they look absolutely amazing if you haven't already seen them. Galactic Conquest looks at home in Star Wars Battlefront 2 by EA and DICE, and I'd love to see it arrive in the game at some point through a free DLC season or even just a general update. But before we get fully into this video, make sure to let me know down in the comments section below if you would like to see Galactic Conquest in EA and DICE's Star Wars Battlefront 2, and make sure to smash a like on this video to show support for the video and the channel in general. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with Battlefront 2 content, see exclusive gameplay videos in the future, and join the Aurora Alliance. But now let's get onto the topic of this video and talk a little bit about Galactic Conquest, because I know some of you out there might not actually know what it is, as you might not have played the original Battlefront games. So Galactic Conquest is a turn-based strategy mode in which players fight for control of the galaxy. This game mode is present within the original Battlefront games, but not the EA and DICE remake. In the original Star Wars Battlefront 1, in the game mode, players take turns battling the enemy for total control of the galaxy, with the victor of the last battle being the one given the option where to attack next. Each faction has a special ability. After 4 victories, the Republic and Rebellion can take possession of a planet and control it completely, while the CIS and Empire will erase the planet from the map entirely via a blockade or the Death Star. Each planet has 2 battlefronts to secure, and after one of them is controlled by each side, the ring surrounding the planet turns white, meaning the planet is contested. After both battlefronts are secured by a side, it will either be green for the player's faction or red for the enemy's faction. Each planet provides a planetary bonus like sabotage or elite training to help players in a fight, although the ability can be lost if the player loses the battle of the area they choose to attack, and the enemy succeeds in taking one side of the planet that benefits the bonus. Once the player or enemy captures all of the planets in the galaxy, the enemy home planet will be the final planet left to attack: Kamino for the Republic, Geonosis for the CIS, Hoth for the Rebellion, and Endor for the Empire. Once the home planet is conquered, the player will be victorious. In Star Wars Battlefront 2, most of the ideas from the first Galactic Conquest apply here. Players still take turns attacking planets and earning control of them, but now they can make tactical decisions thanks to the map screen. Players start off with the simple units unlocked, such as the Imperial Pilot and Stormtrooper for the Galactic Empire, or the Rebel Pilot and the Rebel Soldier for the Rebel Alliance. In order for the player to unlock more units, they must enlist them for 1000 credits. They earn credits by becoming victorious in any battle. However, this time, instead of winning bonuses from controlling planets, players must buy them from the bonus tab. Credits are awarded depending on the planet players take over and whether they are the victor or loser of the battle. Credits are also determined based on the number of planets players have under their control. The more planets they have under their control, the more credits awarded every match. There are no special attacks on planets this time, as in the first Battlefront, as space battles are now present. If a player happens to run into the enemy fleet in open space or on the same planet, they will engage in a space battle. In these battles, players simply aim to destroy the enemy ship by destroying the targets like communication array or dissolve its numbers to win. If the player is victorious, the enemy fleet is reset. If the enemy is victorious, the player's fleet will be reset. Players can also deploy several fleets at once if they want to go after numerous planets at the same time. If a player's fleet does get destroyed, they are allowed to construct a new vessel for absolutely no cost, as long as they have no other fleets under their control. Players may purchase additional fleets at any time for credits that they earn. After the player controls the galaxy, each side has a special ending, all of which except for the Rebellion's are non-canonical. The Republic's ending includes the destruction of the CIS, with Order 66 never happening. The CIS ending includes the deaths of the clone troopers and the Jedi, with Darth Sidious controlling the galaxy. The Rebellion ending includes the destruction of the Death Star. and the Empire ending includes the defeat of the rebellion and the death of Princess Leia. So all of these concept arts that you are seeing coming on screen are made by cinematic captures, like I said at the start of this video, and they are on the maps Hoth and Naboo. He's also made some over-the-head shots that I will be putting on screen at some point of some of the spawn locations, which is similar to what you would see in the original Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2s. Unfortunately, you don't really see that in Star Wars Battlefront 2 by Ear and Dice. You just kind of spawn in with your squad in set spawn locations. But I must say I'm really impressed with all of these images, and it really sort of brings back the memories of the original games, and it makes me want to see Galactic Conquest return in Battlefront 2, and I think it would be really cool if it did, and a lot of other people do as well. And it is possible that we might see this mode return in Ear and Dice's game. And the reason I say this is because if you didn't know, there was a survey sent out to a select group of players regarding content they would like to see in Battlefront 2 at some point. It was a 10-point system, and you assigned these 10 points depending on what you really wanted. If you really wanted something, you could put all 10 points into it, or you could break them down over all of the sort of suggestions which were on this survey. And I covered the survey in a previous video, so I'm not going to go into it in too much detail. However, it did mention Galactic Conquest, which I imagine a lot of original Battlefront fans would have put some points into, because the mode was really fun, and it works for online and offline. A lot of people want to see more offline content, and Galactic Conquest would be a great offline addition to Battlefront 2, as well as a great online edition, if I'm honest with you. I just don't know how they would work it. Like I'm saying, Galactic Conquest offered a unique option to players. It offered a single player experience that could be stretched over a long period of time. You could bust through an entire round of Galactic Conquest in a day if you really wanted to, but it was the kind of mode where you were supposed to conquer a few planets, save your progress, and call it a night. You determined how much you wanted to play, and even more importantly, Galactic Conquest made you feel like you were working towards something more than just an unlock, which Star Wars Battlefront 2 by Ear and Dice Online can feel like sometimes. Galactic Conquest also allowed competitive and cooperative split screen play if you had friends over. It was the kind of thing where you could invite your friends over every week to tackle your shared campaign. It really felt like a Star Wars adventure you could set out on with your friends, and Ear and Dice have really struggled with the longevity with their Star Wars Battlefront games, especially Star Wars Battlefront 2 with the whole microtransaction issue. It put a lot of people off because it felt like, yeah, you could play loads of games, but you wouldn't really progress, you had to buy the crates. Obviously that's changed now, but it still has put people off the game. Galactic Conquest as well gave the original Battlefront games a sense of scope and scale that a lot of people feel are missing from Battlefront and Battlefront 2. So Galactic Conquest should really be on the list of things that they do want to add to the game at some point, and it would be really cool to see Galactic Conquest return with the addition of online multiplayer co-op and competitive play. It's the kind of mode that would bring a lot of original fans back to the game, and it would also bring in some new fans. If you said like, oh my god, Battlefront 2 by Ear and Dice has got Galactic Conquest, I imagine a lot of original fans from the Battlefront series would come to Battlefront 2 and obviously pick up the game and start playing it, if they haven't already played Ear and Dice's version of Battlefront. I really am hoping at some point Ear and Dice do introduce Galactic Conquest into the game. Like I said, I think it would be a great addition to the offline content, and I also think it could make a great online addition to the game, depending on how they actually worked it. It was really quite competitive, and it would be so cool if they introduced Galactic Conquest, where you could actually just play against one of your friends online. So say you wanted to play Galactic Conquest with your friend, you would take turns in attacking planets and play purely against your friend, with obviously AI controlling the rest of the troopers on the battleground. I think that could be quite cool. I think it could be quite difficult though, because you would have to work out how good the AI were going to be and a lot of other things, so maybe that wouldn't happen, but it would be quite cool if you could do that online with your friends. And like I said already, these concept arts by Cinematic Captures really do make me want Galactic Conquest in the game. I was never really that bothered about it when I first got my hands on Battlefront 2. I thought it was a good enough game as it was, but really, it's a sort of game mode that needs to come to the game at some point. And like I keep saying, it would be something that would bring people back to the game to play. Maybe people who have been put off by the microtransaction controversy would come back as well, I don't know. I'm just sort of speculating around these concept arts. But if you want to see Galactic Conquest come to Star Wars Battlefront 2 by Ear and Dice, make sure to let me know down in the comment section below and smash a like on this video to show support for the video and also support for Galactic Conquest. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance, be kept up to date with Battlefront 2 content, and see exclusive gameplay videos in the future. But other than that, may the Force be with you.